Driverly.com, unlimited drama series.
The notification sound from my phone cut through the morning silence like a knife. I was sitting in my cramped Portsmouth apartment, nursing my third cup of coffee and trying to pretend I wasn't nervous about marrying Jenna in 2 weeks. The screen lit up with a group chat I'd never seen before. Jenna's girls, Ken's. My stomach dropped. Someone had added me by mistake. Kara, 11:47 a.m. Girl, are you sure about this Mark thing? I mean, he's sweet, but Jenna, 11:48 a.m. Trust me, it's all under control. Nathan and I have been planning this for months. After the honeymoon, I'll figure out how to break it to Mark gently. Kara, LOL, what honeymoon? You're going to Cabo with Dr. Hottie, while Mark thinks you're at your mom's spa retreat. Jenna, 11:49 a.m. Exactly. Poor guy has no clue. He's so trusting it's almost sad. Yeah? I stared at the screen, my coffee growing cold in my hands. Nathan, Dr. Nathan Reeves, the orthopedic surgeon at Portsmouth General, where Jenna worked as a receptionist. The guy who drove the white Porsche and had perfect teeth and a wife named Emily. My fiancée was cheating on me 2 weeks before our wedding. The worst part? They thought I was too stupid to figure it out. Mark, 11:52 a.m. Hey ladies, think you added the wrong Mark to this chat. Slay me. The chat went silent immediately. Then my phone started buzzing with calls from Jenna. I let them go to voicemail. I'm Mark Stevens, 35 years old, IT specialist for a small tech company downtown. I fix computers, manage networks, and apparently, I'm the kind of guy women marry for stability while screwing doctors on the side. I grew up in foster care after my parents died in a car crash when I was 12. Made my own way through community college, worked my ass off to build a decent life, and now this. The front door burst open, and Jenna rushed in, her face flushed and panicked. She was beautiful, shoulder-length blonde hair, green eyes, the kind of smile that made men do stupid things, like propose marriage. Mark, honey, I can explain. Can you? I set my phone down carefully, because I'm really curious how you explain planning a secret vacation with another man during what's supposed to be our honeymoon. Her face crumpled into tears, the same tears that had worked on me for 3 years. It's not what you think. Nathan and I are just friends. Kara was joking around, you know how she is. Friends don't plan secret trips to Cabo, Jenna. You're being paranoid. This is exactly why I didn't tell you about Nathan. You get so jealous and suspicious. I get suspicious when my fiancé lies to my face. I stood up, surprised by how calm I felt. How long? Mark, how long have you been sleeping with him? The tears stopped. For just a moment, I saw the real Jenna underneath the act. Cold, calculating. 8 months, she said quietly. 8 months, our entire engagement. I need you to leave, I said. This is my apartment too. No, it's not. It's my apartment. Your name isn't on the lease, remember? You said you didn't want the responsibility. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. You can't just throw me out. We're getting married in 2 weeks. The church is booked, the reception hall, the flowers. Not anymore. Mark, please. I love you. Nathan doesn't mean anything to me. He's married. It's just physical. Get out. Where am I supposed to go? I looked at her standing there in my living room, the woman I'd planned to spend my life with, and felt something cold settle in my chest. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Reeves has a suggestion. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door. You're making a huge mistake, Mark. You'll never find anyone better than me. I don't think that's going to be a problem. After she left, I sat in the silence of my apartment and started planning. Jenna thought I was just some harmless IT guy she could manipulate. She had no idea what she'd just unleashed. I opened my laptop and got to work. 2 weeks later, I was supposed to be standing at the altar of St. Mary's Catholic Church, watching my bride walk down the aisle. Instead, I was sitting in a rented loft overlooking Portsmouth Harbor, watching the chaos unfold on social media. The loft was perfect, a converted warehouse space that some struggling artist was subletting for cash. Exposed brick walls, huge windows facing the water, and most importantly, excellent Wi-Fi. I'd moved in the day after confronting Jenna, paying 3 months upfront in cash. My phone buzzed with messages from Chris Maloney, my best man and the only real friend I had left from my old life. Chris tended bar at Murphy's pub downtown and had a talent for collecting gossip. Chris, 10:23 a.m. Dude, where the hell are you? The church is packed and Jenna's having a complete meltdown. Chris keeps calling you. Her mom is screaming at the wedding planner. This is beautiful. I'd left a note for Jenna at her mother's house, where she'd been staying since I kicked her out. Jenna, I won't be attending today's performance. Enjoy explaining to everyone why the groom decided not to show up. Give my regards to Dr. Reeves. Mark. Mark, Pat, is it? Chris, 10:26 a.m. Epic. Linda is telling everyone you had a nervous breakdown. Jenna's crying about cold feet and stress. Half the guests are leaving. Linda Morrison, Jenna's mother, was a piece of work. 55 years old, divorced twice, and the kind of woman who treated service workers like dirt while pretending to be high society. She'd never liked me. I wasn't rich enough, successful enough, connected enough for her precious daughter. Chris, 10:27 a.m. Wait, it gets better. Someone just told me Nathan Reeves is here. At your wedding, with his wife. That was interesting. Nathan showing up to comfort his heartbroken mistress while his wife watched. The man had balls. I'd give him that. Mark, 10:28 a.m. Get pictures if you can. And video. Chris, 10:29 a.m. Already on it. This is better than cable. And I spent the morning working on my laptop, using my IT skills for something more interesting than fixing printers. Social engineering, they called it in the tech world. The art of gathering information through human psychology rather than hacking. It's amazing what people will tell you if you call from the right number with the right story. Portsmouth General Hospital, Dr. Reeves' office, the receptionist answered. Hi, this is Mark from IT support. We're doing a security audit of all department phones. Can you confirm Dr. Reeves' personal cell number for our records? Oh, sure. It's 603-555-7829. Perfect. And his wife's name for emergency contacts? Emily Reeves. Great, thanks. Oh, and what's his home address? We need to send him the security update paperwork. 142 Maple Street, Portsmouth. You've been very helpful. 3 phone calls, and I had Nathan's personal information, his schedule, and the fact that he'd called in sick today. Convenient. My phone rang. Jenna, Mark, please, you have to come. Everyone's asking questions. My mother is humiliated. Good. What do you mean, good? This is our wedding day. No, Jenna. This was supposed to be our wedding day. But since you've been planning a different honeymoon with someone else, I figured I'd save everyone the trouble. I told you, Nathan doesn't mean anything. Is he there? Silence. Is Nathan at the church right now, Jenna? He came to support me through this difficult time. I hung up. Chris called 5 minutes later. Dude, you need to see this. I'm sending you a video. The video showed Jenna in her wedding dress, mascara running down her face, being comforted by Nathan Reeves in the church parking lot. His hands were on her shoulders, her head against his chest. His wife Emily stood 20 feet away, watching with an expression that could freeze hell. Beautiful, I murmured. I opened a new browser window and started typing. Portsmouth General Hospital had a Facebook page where they posted community events and health tips. They also had a very active comments section where local parents discussed everything from school board meetings to traffic complaints. Anonymous user saw Dr. Nathan Reeves comforting a young woman in a wedding dress at St. Mary's today. Looked very intimate. His wife was right there watching. Awkward. Anyone know what that was about? I posted it from a fake account I'd created using a VPN and a temporary email. Within an hour, it had 15 comments and 3 shares. The best part about small towns? Gossip spreads faster than wildfire. My phone buzzed with another message from Chris. Chris, 17 p.m. Weddings officially canceled. Jenna left with her mom. Nathan and his wife had a screaming match in the parking lot. Emily drove off without him. This is the best day ever. Mark E. Purse. The next morning, I put on my best suit and drove to Portsmouth General Hospital. I had a delivery to make. Nathan Reeves worked on the 3rd floor in the orthopedic department. I'd done my research. He was 41 years old, graduated from Dartmouth Medical School, married to Emily for 15 years with 2 kids. He drove a white Porsche 911, lived in a $500,000 house on Maple Street, and had a reputation as the hospital's golden boy. He also had a weakness for young blondes who worked in medical reception. The hospital's front desk was busy with the usual morning chaos. I waited in line behind an elderly man complaining about his bill, and a woman trying to find the cafeteria. Can I help you?" the receptionist asked. "I have a delivery for Dr. Nathan Reeves. Personal item that was left behind yesterday. You can leave it here and we'll make sure he gets it." "I'm sorry, but I was specifically instructed to deliver it directly to him. It's quite valuable." She looked at the small wrapped box in my hands and shrugged. "Third floor, orthopedic wing. Ask for Nurse Patricia at the desk." The elevator ride gave me time to admire my handiwork. Inside the box was Jenna's engagement ring, a modest 1-carat diamond that had cost me 3 months' salary. I'd wrapped it carefully in tissue paper, along with a handwritten note. The third floor was quieter than the lobby. Nurse Patricia was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and the tired look of someone who'd been dealing with doctors' egos for decades. "Dr. Reeves? He's in room 314 reviewing patient files. You can knock." "Thank you." Room 314 was a small office with a window overlooking the parking lot. Nathan sat behind a desk covered with medical charts, still looking like the kind of man who'd never had a real problem in his life. Tall, fit, perfectly styled dark hair, expensive watch. The kind of guy who expected the world to arrange itself around his convenience. He looked up when I knocked. "Yes? Dr. Reeves? I have something that belongs to you?" I set the box on his desk and watched his face change as he recognized me. We'd never been formally introduced, but he'd seen me at hospital events with Jenna. "You're Mark Stevens." "That's right, Jenna's fiancé. Well, ex-fiancé as of yesterday." He opened the box carefully, his face going pale when he saw the ring and note. The note was simple. "Since you're taking my place, figured you might need this. Good luck with Emily, Mark." "Look, Mark, I know this is awkward." "Awkward? That's an interesting word choice." I sat down in the chair across from his desk without being invited. I was thinking more along the lines of pathetic. Married man, 2 kids, sneaking around with his employee. Very original. "You don't understand the situation." "I understand perfectly. You wanted something young and exciting to spice up your boring married life. Jenna wanted someone with money and status to upgrade from the IT guy. Match made in heaven." Nathan's jaw tightened. "Jenna and I have a real connection. Something deeper than you could understand." "Is that what you call it?" "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a midlife crisis and a gold digger who found each other." "You need to leave. This is my workplace." "You're absolutely right. Very unprofessional to discuss your personal life here. I'm sure your colleagues would be shocked to hear about your relationship with a subordinate employee." His face went white. "Are you threatening me?" "Just making conversation." I stood up and straightened my tie. "Oh, and Nathan, you might want to check the hospital's Facebook page. Seems like someone posted some interesting photos from yesterday." I left him sitting there with Jenna's engagement ring and walked back to the elevator. As the doors closed, I saw him frantically typing on his phone. The parking lot was perfect for the second part of my plan. Nathan's white Porsche was parked in a reserved spot near the main entrance, gleaming in the morning sun. A beautiful car, expensive. The kind of thing that made a statement about success and status. I pulled out my phone and called Chris. "Murphy's Pub, Chris speaking. It's Mark. I need a favor. You still have that pink spray paint from when you helped your sister with her garage sale signs?" "Yeah, why?" "Meet me at Portsmouth General in 20 minutes. Bring the paint and your phone. We're making a movie." This keeps getting better. While I waited for Chris, I walked around Nathan's car taking pictures. License plate, VIN number visible through the windshield. The small dent on the rear bumper. Documentation was important. Chris arrived carrying a paper bag and grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. "Please tell me we're doing what I think we're doing." "Better. We're sending a message." The spray paint was bright pink, the kind used for marking garage sale prices. I wrote carefully on the Porsche's windshield, "Pier E owned by Dr. Cheater," on the driver's side window. "Honk if you love adultery." And on the rear windshield, "Just married to someone else's wife." Chris filmed everything, narrating like a nature documentary. "Here we see the rare Portsmouth douchebag in its natural habitat. Notice the expensive plumage, designed to attract young females, while the mate remains unaware." "You're enjoying this too much," I said. But I was smiling. "Are you kidding? This is the most fun I've had since you introduced me to that cheating bitch in the first place. We finished our artwork and retreated to Chris's car to wait. It took 45 minutes for Nathan to discover his redecorated vehicle. The video Chris captured was priceless. Nathan storming out of the hospital, stopping dead when he saw his car, looking around frantically to see who was watching. A small crowd of hospital employees gathered, some taking pictures with their phones. Post it, I told Chris. Where? Everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Tag Portsmouth General Hospital. Use hashtags like #hospitalparking, #doctorproblems, #karma. You're diabolical. I love it. Within 2 hours, the video had 50 shares and 200 comments. The hospital's social media manager was frantically trying to control the
Don't leave. Let me explain.
Explain a shade I don't know.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
damage. But the internet had already made its judgment. My phone rang. Jenna, what the hell did you do to Nathan's car? I have no idea what you're talking about. Mark, this isn't funny. His wife saw the video. She's threatening to leave him. That's terrible. A marriage falling apart because of infidelity. Who could have seen that coming? You're being vindictive and petty. I'm being creative. There's a difference. Nathan could lose his job over this. Maybe he should have thought about that before he started screwing his employee. I hung up and opened my laptop. Time for phase 2 of my plan. Portsmouth was a small city where everyone knew everyone else's business. The kind of place where reputation mattered, where social standing could make or break careers and relationships. Nathan and Jenna had built their little affair in secret, thinking they were clever enough to fool everyone. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The beauty of living in the digital age is how quickly information spreads. Within 24 hours of Nathan's car decoration, the story had taken on a life of its own. I sat in my loft watching the chaos unfold across multiple screens. My laptop showed Facebook, my tablet had Instagram open, and my phone was cycling through TikTok videos. The hashtag #PortsmouthDocCheater was trending locally. Someone had identified Jenna from the wedding photos Chris had posted. The comments were brutal. Girl in the wedding dress is Jenna Morrison, works at the hospital. Guess we know why she got that job. Kang. My cousin works there, says everyone knew about them. Poor husband. Update. Tokens. The husband is Mark Stevens, works in IT downtown. Heard he caught them through text messages. Plot twist. Mark is the one who decorated the car. Saw him on security footage. This man is a legend. That last comment made me smile. I wasn't trying to be a legend. I was just getting started. My phone rang. Chris. Dude, you need to get down to Murphy's. Like now. Why? Because half the hospital staff is here talking about your ex and her doctor boyfriend. And Emily Reeves just walked in. Emily Reeves, Nathan's wife. This was getting interesting. Murphy's Pub was Portsmouth's unofficial gossip central, the kind of place where everyone from construction workers to bank managers stopped for a drink after work. Chris had been tending bar there for 8 years, which made him the unofficial keeper of the city's secrets. I found Emily sitting alone at the far end of the bar, nursing a glass of white wine. She was attractive in an understated way. Auburn hair, intelligent brown eyes, the kind of woman who looked like she had her life together. 15 years of marriage to a cheating doctor had probably taught her how to keep her emotions in check. Mrs. Reeves? She looked up, studying my face. You're Mark Stevens. Yes, ma'am. The man who decorated my husband's car with spray paint, allegedly. For the first time since I'd started this whole thing, I felt nervous. Emily Reeves could call the police, press charges for vandalism, make my life very complicated. Instead, she smiled. Sit down. Let me buy you a drink. I slid onto the bar stool next to her. Chris appeared immediately, trying not to look too obvious about eavesdropping. What'll it be? He asked. Beer. Whatever's on tap. Emily raised her wine glass. To creative problem solving. We drank in silence for a moment. The bar was filling up with the after-work crowd, but our corner felt isolated from the noise. How long did you know? I asked. About Nathan and your fiancé? 3 months? Maybe 4. Why didn't you say anything? To who? You? Hi, stranger. Your girlfriend is sleeping with my husband. That would have gone well. She had a point. Besides, Emily continued, Nathan's cheated before. This isn't his first affair. Usually I just wait it out until he gets bored and moves on to someone else. Usually, this time felt different. He was talking about leaving me, about starting over with someone younger who understood his ambitions. She took another sip of wine. Apparently, your ex-fiancé has been filling his head with ideas about their future together. The pieces clicked into place. Jenna thought she was trading up. IT guy for doctor, apartment for mansion. Exactly. And Nathan thought he was getting a devoted young woman who would worship him properly. They were both about to get a very rude awakening. Emily's smile turned predatory. Oh, Mark, you've done beautiful work so far, but you're thinking too small. Nathan doesn't just cheat. He's been embezzling from our joint accounts to pay for his affairs. Expensive dinners, hotel rooms, jewelry. I have documentation going back 2 years. Why haven't you used it? I was waiting for the right moment, a moment when the maximum amount of damage could be done. She gestured toward the bar's TV, which was showing a local news story about social media harassment at Portsmouth General. I think that moment has arrived. Chris refilled our drinks without being asked. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're witnessing the formation of a beautiful partnership. What did you have in mind? I asked Emily. Nathan's been stealing from me to finance his midlife crisis. Your ex-girlfriend has been manipulating him into believing they have a future together. They both need to learn that actions have consequences. I'm listening. Emily pulled out her phone and showed me a bank statement. Nathan withdrew $8,000 last month, cash. When I asked about it, he said it was for a medical conference in Boston. But there was no conference. He and Jenna spent the weekend at a resort in Vermont. I have the hotel receipts from his credit card statement. The woman had done her homework. Here's what I'm thinking, Emily continued. Nathan's reputation is already damaged from your car stunt. The hospital administration is asking questions. His department head wants to meet with him tomorrow about maintaining professional standards. And what if they discovered that he's been using hospital resources for personal business, making personal calls during work hours, using his office computer for non-medical activities, violating the employee fraternization policies? I was starting to like Emily Reeves. What about Jenna? Leave Jenna to me. I have some ideas about how to handle your ex-fiancé. We spent the next hour planning. Emily had access to Nathan's financial records, his schedule, his professional vulnerabilities. I had technical skills and a thorough understanding of how social media could destroy someone's reputation. By the time we left Murphy's, we had a comprehensive strategy for dismantling both Nathan's career and Jenna's comfortable little fantasy about their future together. One question, I said as we stood in the parking lot. Why are you helping me? You could just divorce Nathan, take half his assets, and move on. Emily looked toward the harbor, where the evening sun was setting over the water. Because, Mark, some people need to learn that they can't just take whatever they want without consequences. Nathan has been treating me like a convenience for years, someone to manage his household and raise his children while he plays with younger women. And your ex-fiancé thought she could manipulate both of you, without anyone being smart enough to catch her. She turned back to me, and I saw steel in her eyes. They both underestimated us. Let's make sure they never make that mistake again. The Portsmouth Summer Festival was the city's biggest annual event, drawing thousands of people to the waterfront for 3 days of food vendors, live music, and community celebration. It was also the perfect stage for the final act of my revenge. Emily and I had spent 2 weeks preparing. She'd gathered financial evidence of Nathan's embezzlement, documented his pattern of workplace affairs, and quietly informed the hospital board about his unprofessional conduct. I'd used my technical skills to create a comprehensive digital portfolio of Nathan and Jenna's relationship, complete with time-stamped photos, text message screenshots, and financial records. The beauty of our plan was its simplicity. We weren't breaking any laws, weren't resorting to violence or illegal harassment. We were simply making sure the truth came to light in the most public, humiliating way possible. The festival's main stage was set up in Prescott Park, overlooking the Piscataqua River. Local bands performed throughout the day, and between sets, community leaders made announcements about upcoming events and civic matters. I'd volunteered to help with the festival's social media coverage, using my IT background to convince the organizers that I could live stream events and manage their online presence. They'd given me access to their official Facebook page and Instagram account, along with the wireless microphone system they used for announcements. Perfect. Nathan and Jenna arrived separately, but found each other quickly in the crowd. Nathan looked nervous, constantly checking his phone and scanning the faces around him. His Porsche incident had made him paranoid about public appearances. Jenna wore a sundress and oversized sunglasses, trying to look casual while obviously uncomfortable with the attention she'd been receiving. Emily positioned herself near the main stage with her two teenage children, playing the role of the devoted wife attending a community event. She caught my eye and nodded slightly. Chris worked the crowd like a professional gossip columnist, spreading carefully crafted rumors and making sure key people were in the right positions when the show started. At 3 p.m., during a break between musical acts, I took the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, before our next performer, I'd like to share something with the community that I think you'll find interesting. The crowd quieted, expecting a routine announcement about parking or lost children. 2 months ago, I was supposed to marry a woman named Jenna Morrison. Some of you might remember reading about the wedding that didn't happen. I saw Jenna's face go white. She grabbed Nathan's arm, trying to pull him away from the stage area, but the crowd was too thick. What I didn't tell anyone at the time was why I decided not to go through with the ceremony. You see, I discovered that my fiancée had been having an affair with her boss at Portsmouth General Hospital. The crowd was completely silent now, hundreds of faces turned toward the stage. I could see phones being raised to record video. Now, I'm not usually one to air personal business in public, but when that affair involves a married doctor stealing money from his wife to finance secret vacations with his employee, I think the community has a right to know. Nathan was pushing through the crowd now, trying to reach the stage. 2 festival security guards moved to intercept him. Emily had spoken to them earlier about potential disruptions. Dr. Nathan Reeves, orthopedic surgeon at Portsmouth General, has been embezzling funds from his joint accounts with his wife Emily to pay for hotel rooms, expensive dinners, and romantic getaways with Jenna Morrison, a receptionist in his department. I held up a folder of documents. I have bank statements, hotel receipts, credit card records, and photographs documenting their affair over the past 8 months. All obtained legally, all verified and authenticated. The crowd was buzzing now, people pulling out phones to capture the drama. Local news cameras, originally there to cover the festival, swung toward the stage. But here's the really interesting part, I continued. Miss Morrison told Dr. Reeves that she was planning to leave me for him. She convinced him that they had a future together, that she loved him and wanted to build a life with him. I paused, letting the tension build. What she didn't tell Dr. Reeves was that she was also sleeping with 2 other men during the same time period. A pharmaceutical sales rep named David Chen and a lawyer from Dover named Michael Rodriguez. I have evidence of those relationships too. That wasn't true, but Nathan didn't know that. I watched his face crumble as he realized he wasn't Jenna's only side piece. Jenna Morrison played multiple men against each other, lying to all of them about her intentions and her fidelity. Dr. Reeves destroyed his marriage and his professional reputation for a woman who was using him for financial support while maintaining relationships with other men. Jenna broke free from the crowd and ran toward the parking area. Nathan stood frozen, staring at the stage as his world collapsed around him. In conclusion, I said, I'd like to thank Dr. Reeves for doing me the favor of revealing my ex-fiancee's true character before I made the mistake of marrying her. And I'd like to apologize to his wife Emily and their children for the pain this situation has caused them. I set the microphone down and walked off the stage to thunderous applause and cheering. The crowd parted as I made my way toward the exit, people clapping me on the back and shouting encouragement. Behind me, I could hear Nathan shouting my name, but security kept him away from the stage area. I found Emily waiting by the harbor railing, her children beside her looking confused but supportive. How do you feel? She asked. I looked out over the water, then back at the festival where hundreds of people were still talking about what they'd just witnessed. Nathan was surrounded by reporters and curious onlookers. Jenna was nowhere to be seen, like I can finally move on with my life. Emily smiled. Nathan will be served with divorce papers tomorrow morning. I'm taking the house, the cars, and half his retirement fund. He can start over with nothing, just like he wanted. What about Jenna? Oh, I took care of that too. I called her mother this morning and played her some very interesting voicemails that Nathan left on Jenna's phone. Apparently, Linda Morrison is not pleased to discover that her daughter has been lying to everyone about her relationships. As if summoned by our conversation, Linda Morrison appeared at Emily's shoulder. Jenna's mother looked like she'd aged 5 years in the past month. Mrs. Reeves? I wanted to apologize for my daughter's behavior. I had no idea she was involved with your husband. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Linda turned to me. Mark, I owe you an apology too. I never thought you were good enough for Jenna, but now I realize she was never good enough for you. It was the first time Linda Morrison had ever said anything kind to me. Where is Jenna now? I asked. Gone. Left town this morning. Said she was moving to Boston to start over. Linda's voice was bitter. Apparently she's been planning her exit strategy for weeks, just in case things went badly. So Jenna had run rather than face the consequences of her actions. Somehow, that felt like the perfect ending to our relationship. The sun was setting over Portsmouth Harbor, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and purples. The festival continued around us, but the drama was over. Nathan would face professional and personal consequences for his choices. Jenna had fled rather than take responsibility for hers. Emily would rebuild her life with dignity and financial security. And me? I was free. Chris appeared with 3 beers and a huge grin. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You're a legend, Mark Stevens. I'm just a guy who got tired of being underestimated. To new beginnings, Emily said, raising her beer. To getting what you deserve, Chris added. To the truth, I said. We drank as the fireworks started over the harbor, celebrating